Okay, so setup, like I said, I know someone not hitting the golf on the right hand side, but for me it's a good one to showcase, just so you can see the difference in the comparison, okay? I think posture, just look a little bit more relaxed and twice. I think I want your arms to hang, but don't think hang and then slouch into it. We're still just getting a nice posture. You haven't got to let your arms shrug up, but don't then overly sink down, okay? I think setting up, that is, you can see where, I mean, you think your contact spot now, if that's kind of the hosel there, your contact spot in there is not very big. You haven't got much of the face to use. So chances are you hit the ball out of that spot there. Sorry. If you hit it off that spot there in the corner, it's going over there. Okay. If you're off the middle bit, it'll be all right. If you catch it where it's just about there, you might get a straight shot, as this shot, as we can see, even with the things that we're going to discuss in terms of being too steep and across the ball, it's a reasonable shot. But it's 4 reasonable ones, 2, oh dear. Yeah, and that's the problem. It's the oh dear ones we've got to get rid of, okay? So in terms of those movement and positions, as we say, going back, that's good. That's good. There's no hinge of the wrist in this part of the golf swing really anyway that's going to make an issue. So these will look very similar, okay? As you started going back with this one here now, club's not quite as high, so the wrists haven't really hinged. That club now is a little bit steeper on the way back, which is good, okay? Club being a bit more this way now is meaning you've hinged your wrist better. So when you get to the top of the backswing now, you can set the club nicely. Your left arm now a bit more across your shoulder, but this one here now is a little bit higher. As we start coming down because of that, you're now redirecting that club. It's almost vertical, isn't it? Yeah. And that's just to chop it in the golf ball. This one here now you'll see kind of matches back up pretty much with what you went back in, you see. So there's kind of the halfway down position. That is a much better position for you to come into the golf ball now. You're going to be coming now, swinging, we call underneath this sort of yellow line. Look at the club now working the golf ball now underneath that yellow line, striking the ball, and then works up through the side, elbow nicely sort of down there. Whereas this one now, your club is coming outside the steep line anyway. Club at this point now, outside the golf ball, as you can see, coming across the golf ball there. Elbow then's got a pop. And very, very steep. And again, even though this is a reasonable shot, it's so close to being not a reasonable shot, and that is the biggest problem, okay? We've got to make that swing feel a bit more kind of around. I think the feeling that you had, so we can just sort of pinpoint there on the video, what you felt was when you got to kind of here, left shoulder, wasn't it? Kind of feeling like it was falling down a little bit, letting the arms, this sort of comes down, exactly, yeah. There's a bit of a drop here with that left shoulder, which you actually look here when you swing the golf club, that sort of shoulder now from there, this is just fall down. It's probably more your left tricep, I would say, but it feels in kind of this area, yeah, which is fine. As long as you feel it's left shoulder, somewhere in there, this left arm now is just falling down here into the golf ball there. So once this arm just falls down here, club can just fall back in. There's no kind of hit from there. Lower half, all the things we've discussed in the past, you're doing that really well with just that one thought. So we can minimise the kind of feeling, the thought process to one thing. One thing at setup, as we said. Not from the hosel. Yeah. One thing in the swing, you're laughing, yeah? It's an easier way then to kind of think, okay, there's my setup, make sure the club, and again, and I do understand because you feared to toe the golf club for a while, yeah? The ball was pinging off sideways, it was never going to work, right? So you just got closer, just change that, okay? And just, okay, well, I'm going to toe the ball, I'll just step up to the heel. Now you're swinging the club generally better. You're coming back to where you started, but you're starting so close to the hosel. Your club moves this far in the swing, which is nothing. It's off there or whatever it may be, okay? So trust that it's not going to hit the toe end of the club. And, okay, you might get one in the next team, whatever weeks, but I'm just anywhere near you getting this there now. The worst you get is a bit of a sort of heely, catty one at the right there, yeah? So trust the club faces in the middle of the golf ball there, okay? And then that feeling with that left arm is going to produce the movement you want to try and produce of the arm kind of falling down, club working at a better angle, and the left arm just hinging and unhinging through the golf ball, yeah? That left, and I think generally I would say if you can do this, mate, when you walk the dog, get the flinger with the ball and actually picture yourself throwing the ball to something rather than just sort of just launch it somewhere and let the dog go and get it. Set up side on with it in your left hand and try and throw that ball to something down the fairway or something down between two objects or whatever it may be, yeah? So you start learning the feeling of what you're... Because if you were to do this with your left arm, get your left arm very high, the ball probably wouldn't fling out the flinger much at all, or just go straight to the right, yeah? So you're trying to get that kind of fling. When you know you fling it, you get a bit of a snap, don't you, yeah? You're trying to get that snap kind of the other way now, yeah? And that's what we've got to try and produce more so in your golf swing. Okay, mate?
Gotcha.
Make sense?
Does.
Excellent. Good stuff, buddy. Well done, mate.